Can an Elizabee solo legendary pals? This was the question that I wanted to answer. So why Elizabee? Elizabee directly benefits from having bee guards in her party, giving her both stats for her skill as well as the bee guard skill, giving her stats for each one in a party additively. So what does this mean? At level 1, a bee guard gives 12% attack and defense bonus, each one giving that, up to level 5 of their skill at 24% attack and defense. This means that theoretically, you could have 96% attack and defense added just from having bee guards in your party. That's not even including the fact that you can get an additional 30% health, attack, and defense from souls, and 8% attack from Elizabee's skill level up as well. In theory, this could give you 134% attack, 126% defense, and 30% max HP without even including skills. So what do we do to start? First, I took my first jet dragon that I had captured, which had a legend and divine dragon, and unfortunately brittle, and the dragon meteor skill that I wanted to try to get on Elizabee, and an Anubis that had muscle head. I wasn't sure if this was going to work out, so I decided to make it easy and go with just a base level 1 for testing. I bred a bunch of bee guards to go ahead and get those condensed into higher level bee guards, and tried to get a Elizabee with 3 golden skill. Luckily, it didn't take me too long to get this one. I went ahead and put a bunch of souls into it, as well as used a bunch of skill fruit to teach it new moves, and I decided to go out and test it on a Mustang Deluxe, just to see what it could do. Clearly, you can see here, it did some decent damage, so I went ahead and continued to try to test it on other things. Next, I decided to try out Yormantide to see how that would go. I figured that's a much higher level boss, and it should give a little bit more difficulty, which it did, but I ended up taking it down. And my final test before trying to go out and kill Necromus was Blazilla. I figured I'm weak to fire, he should be able to be the hardest thing that I can do beforehand at level 49, and it actually went a lot better than I expected. I did have to pull my Elizabee in for his large attack like this one here, because it would do about a third of her health. So I played it safe and dodged attacks that way. So after all of those confidence boosts, I decided to try out Necromus, and well, I died. And I died. And I died again. But each time I got to about 30% health. So I decided to regroup. I went back and buffed all of my bee guards to level 4. I got my Elizabee to a level 3, I believe, and I went back to try again. Now, one of the things you'll notice is I am fighting him at nighttime. That is because the partner goes to sleep during the night, so you can get the solo fight on Necromus and not have to worry about getting interference. Now, if you'll notice, this fight didn't start off the best. I got hit immediately myself, I did not dodge one of the moves with my Elizabee, and I wasn't feeling very good about this attempt. So I kind of went about it a little bit safer from here on out and just tried to recover. Now this move is the most terrifying thing that he does, and I try to get him to do it on me as much as I can. If you do dodge it at the right time, he'll just continue running by and you can get a bunch of free damage off. But if you do get hit by it, it will take pretty much your entire shield and some portion of your health as well, depending on how many times it hits. I tried my best to just keep aggro of him as I could, but also just let her fight and use the opportunity to pull her back for dodge moves. And as you can see there, that one continues tracking after you throw her back out if it hasn't fizzled, so you have to be careful with it. I could dodge a little early here and get a little panicked, but luckily don't hit. One of the worst parts about this dragon move that I have is she does have to get into close range for that AoE circle move, and it's not the best move that I could get here. I would have preferred to get Dragon Meteor, but unfortunately this one did not get that move. I looked everywhere I could for Skill Fruit and never found it, so if you do know where to get that one, please let me know. Whenever he starts to charge this move, I try to let him target the Elizabee before I pull her in, because he'll always shoot it off to the sky then instead of retargeting onto you. I'm at about half health with a little over halfway through the night, so I'm feeling okay about this attempt even though it started off poorly. Ideally, I would like to have him dead before it turns to daytime. Now right here I make a mistake. I tried to save my Elizabee, not realizing he targeted me, so I pulled her in, but unfortunately got hit myself. And there, I am still panicking, so I pulled her in late, let her get hit by the next move, and then I get hit again by another one of his moves, and I am very worried about dying at this point. I realize right here, if I get hit, I'm going to die, and I got insanely scared. Elizabee is looking at under half health almost, and I am getting a little worried, but he is pretty low. Now this is about the time that I've died on every single one of my... Anytime he runs up to you, he's about to do that AoE move, and you just need to dodge out right as he stops moving. I'm playing insanely safe at this point, trying to pull my Elizabee in from getting hit by anything. Almost messed that one up. She almost got hit. Again, just dodge out when it comes into you. And now he's doing lance moves. Unfortunately, I would really have liked if Elizabee could have gotten that fireball off, but I do think she would have died if she got hit by that. So close. Just need one or two more attacks to go and he'll be dead. Yeah. Come on. Unfortunately, I had to pull her in again there where she was doing the fireball and it missed. I let her get hit by a couple of those there. And now I have to dodge. I let her get hit again there, and I am panicked at this point. Just one more attack. He's just too far out of range. He runs up to me, I have to dodge away. And at this point, I get too far away from his spawn point. As soon as he does this move, he decides to retreat all the way back to where he should be. And I am freaking out that he is going to reset with 105 HP left. But luckily, I managed to keep him in my sights. I get my Elizabee over and she finishes him off with a fireball. And it's actually possible to do. And as we do it, Paladius spawns and starts attacking me immediately. I run over to grab my loot as quick as I can. I get on my Shadow Beak to fly away, and then I have the thought, can I beat Paladius too? So I decide to fly up into the air, and I switch my moves to make it so that I have dark moves equipped because he is weak to dark. And luckily I already have the 3 dark moves that I want. I know that his poison is very effective against neutral types because it is considered a dark move, and all I need to do is poison this guy down. So I decide to risk it. I fly down and immediately get frozen, but I just jump off my Shadow Beak and throw my Elizabee out, who is at less than health. I'm a little worried about that. I immediately take his large hit and lose all of my shields, and I'm questioning if this is a good idea, but I figure I might as well try. Necromus is down, and this is the only time I'm going to be able to get the 1v1 without having to kill him again. Now you see there, my Elizabee gets frozen, and you have to keep in mind, I've never fought this one. I have no idea what its moves are, and I'm kind of learning as I go at this point to see if it's even possible. I get hit by this AoE freeze, I'm at half health, and I'm just figuring I'm just going to end up dying, but I might as well keep going. I can get a little bit of practice with his moves and see what he does and prepare for a fight for later. I take a massive hit there from my Elizabee, and I deal a decent amount of damage in return, but not as much as I would have liked to. And then I hit with the poison and start realizing it ticks for 42 constantly. If I could just stall out this fight, there's no way I don't win this. Luckily my shield is back, and I'm just going to play insanely safe for my Elizabee and try to make sure that Paladius is poisoned at all times. He resets here, which is a little annoying, but I fly over and try to keep him towards the center of this area again. One of the things that I would like to see changed in the future is the AI to have like some sort of maybe basic attack, or just not be so confused and lost sometimes between attacks. They kind of just run around in circles and don't do anything. From this point forward, I'm just going to let this battle commence at 2x speed and let you see what was going on. And finally, I take him down too. My test was a massive success, and I'm very happy about it. So this makes me immediately realize I need a better bee. My stats could be so much higher. I could have a fourth skill that's actually good, and I need to buff my bee guards to get even more stats. You'll see I do show that all of them are level 4 at this point. I also go immediately to the title screen to show that I do not have any changed difficulty stats other than the fact that I do have my drop rate at 3x, my experience rate is higher, and my hatch rate is faster just because I wasn't going to spend weeks hatching all of the bees that I need. None of my damage multipliers are changed, and everything is normal. As soon as that fight was done, I went to work to get the perfect skills on a new bee guard. I'll test that out in my next video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and come see what happens next.